Most people think they need a life coach, a best-selling self-help book, or a 10-day silent retreat to uncover the secrets to a better life. But here's the twist: sometimes, all you really need is a cat. Not the lazy, nap-all-day kind, though. There's wisdom in that too, but the bold, unpredictable, I'm gonna climb the curtain just to see what's up there kind. The kind of cat that turns an ordinary afternoon into a full-blown adventure, and somehow leaves you questioning your own limits. Sounds absurd? Maybe. But think about it, this furry little creature doesn't own a watch, doesn't keep a to-do list, and definitely doesn't care about what others think, yet still manages to live with purpose, presence, and joy. While we're overthinking, he's leaping. While we're hesitating, he's already halfway over the fence. And the truth is, his instincts hold more life lessons than most motivational speeches you've ever heard. What you're about to discover isn't fluffy cat trivia. These lessons are raw, tested, and surprisingly deep, the kind of wisdom that can shake you out of autopilot and make you see your own life differently. The best part? You can start applying them today, without quitting your job, moving to Bali, or buying anything except maybe a little curiosity. They say life rushes by too quickly for those who only look at the obvious. The adventurous cat, however, notices details no one else does: the glimmer of light dancing on a wall, the faint tremor of a leaf in the wind, the distant scent of something we can't quite name. He reminds us that the greatest lessons often hide in the smallest experiences. Like that friend who senses you're off and asks, "Hey, are you okay?" before you've even realized something's wrong. It's in that quiet, almost invisible awareness that life as I once watched him spend hours studying a simple puddle as if it contained an entire universe. And, in a way, it did. Every ripple mirrored a different piece of the sky, every insect landing on its surface was an uninvited guest bringing a new story. How many times do we miss these little masterpieces because we're too caught up in deadlines and notifications? Maybe today, if you went for a walk with your phone tucked away, paying attention to the smells, textures, and sounds around you, why the magic is that, by learning to capture the invisible, we start noticing more about ourselves. Subtle signs of discomfort, flashes of inspiration, even opportunities that once slipped past unnoticed suddenly become vivid and tangible. The cat knows it's not about seeing everything, but about seeing better. And maybe that same focus he gives to a single movement in the grass is the very first step towards something far bigger, something that calls not just for perception, but for the courage to follow what we've found. Curiosity is a dangerous thing, at least for those who fear the unknown. For the adventurous cat, it's the very fuel that propels him into places no one else dares to go: a shadowy attic, a fence that seems too high, a rustling bush that might hide a friend or a foe. He doesn't ask if it's safe, he asks if it's worth discovering. And that's the thing, most people wait for certainty before acting, while real breakthroughs often happen when we step forward without it. Just like trying a new recipe without following the book to the letter, sure, you might mess it up, but you might also invent your new favorite dish. I remember one afternoon when he slipped through a narrow gap in the neighbor's fence. On the other side, a massive old tree, its trunk hollowed out like a secret doorway. Inside, a family of squirrels had made a home, completely unaware they'd been discovered. He could have been scratched, chased away, maybe even hurt. But instead, he found a new playground and a strange kind of friendship. That's what curiosity does: it turns fear into fascination. It replaces the thought of what if something goes wrong with what if something amazing is waiting. And here's the thing, you don't need to be a cat to live like this. You could sign up for that class you've been eyeing, even if you're not ready. You could talk to the stranger sitting alone at the cafe, just to see where the conversation leads. You could pitch that project idea at work before someone else does. Curiosity, when embraced, becomes courage in disguise. And that courage has a way of guiding you into discoveries you never expected. Some of which can only be appreciated when you learn the power of stillness, the adventurous cat knows that not every chase is worth running. Sometimes, the smartest move is to stay perfectly still, ears twitching, eyes half closed, as if nothing in the world is happening, when in truth, he's gathering every detail. It's in those moments of quiet that the real magic happens. The world slows down, and opportunities that would have rushed past suddenly come into focus. It's like fishing, the ones who reel in too quickly often miss the catch, while those who wait get the prize. I've seen him spend what felt like an eternity crouched in the grass, tail tip flicking ever so slightly. Minutes passed, the air heavy with suspense, until suddenly, a butterfly landed inches from his nose. It wasn't the butterfly he'd been waiting for, but it was a reward nonetheless. That's the hidden gift of patience. Sometimes you get exactly what you planned for, and sometimes you get something better. How often do we rush through life, missing the butterfly because we were too busy chasing the bird? In our own lives, patience can be just as powerful. Waiting a day before sending that angry email. Letting an idea sit in your mind until it shapes itself into something stronger. Holding back on making a big move until the right moment reveals itself. Silence and patience aren't signs of passivity, they're strategies. And just like the cat knows, when you master them, you start to realize that the greatest adventures don't always begin with a leap. Sometimes, they begin with a pause. So now the question is, what are you going to do with all this? Will you just nod along, think that's interesting, and then go back to scrolling? Or will you actually let a fearless, curious, and oddly wise cat change the way you live? Because here's the truth, the gap between knowing and doing is where most people get stuck. And the ones who cross it? They're the ones who find the adventures, the growth, and the joy they didn't even know they were missing. Think about it. What if tomorrow you treated the world like the cat does? Noticing what others ignore. Stepping into the unknown without waiting for certainty. Holding still until the right moment reveals itself. You don't need 9 lives to start, you just need to live this one differently. So tell me, which lesson will you put into practice first? Drop it in the comments, I want to hear your plan. And if you're ready to keep learning how to spot the invisible opportunities hiding in plain sight, hit subscribe, turn on notifications, and let's keep exploring together. Because trust me, the next adventure is already waiting.